Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, LaSalle Anunga.
Yes, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate you joining me for the market wrap-up tonight here on Penny Stocks Live, the American Investor Show. I appreciate all of you being here right now. Who was first in the building? Life for Business. What's going on, Chris? Chris McKinney, John Warrior. Stocker Fellow, what's going on? Terry Cherry, hello. Greer Jones. Jay Wallace. Trevor Proby, what's up, man? Corey Kwan, Black Mike. Pink Penny, Robert Turman. Robert, I think it's been a minute, bro. The new black conservative. What's up, man? I think it's been a minute for you, too. Yusef. Londell Carter, what's up, man? Vic Real. Shout out to everybody in the building and watching in the future. Appreciate all of you. What can we say today? Market sold off pretty aggressively today. Yesterday we made it a point to have guys really be aware of what was coming down the pipe in terms of earnings. And sure enough, the stocks that, I wanted to make clear that are going to set the tone for the day, which were going to be Caterpillar, 3M, and I want to say I also mentioned Boeing, I think. I can't remember, but I definitely know Caterpillar and 3M. And, what can you say? Caterpillar, huge sell-off. This is incredible volatility here. This is incredible volatility. And it was really one phrase in their earnings report that got everybody shook up. And that was basically where they talked about this being the high watermark for the year. They talked about this being the high watermark for the year. And I put this out on Twitter. Basically, what Caterpillar did today, what 3M did today, was that they said that this is probably the best numbers we're going to put up all year. Take your money and run. Take your money and run. This is the best. This is the high watermark for the year. All right? And they acknowledged the increasing, interest rates that are going to happen, of course, through the course of the year, through the Fed. But that's no excuse. At the end of the day, they also listed the fact that, what we've talked about here, the fact that, credit is getting tighter. It's getting a bit harder for people to get money. And when I say people, I'm not talking individuals, right? You're always going to be that available. What I'm talking about institutions and guys who and institutions that do large trades as well as investing. For example, on the commercial real estate side, money's drying up. I don't know if I have anybody here in commercial real estate, but you're starting to see those articles where it's getting a little bit harder for, these real estate investment trusts to go out and get, new properties, regardless of their rates. AAA properties, double, it doesn't matter. It's getting a bit harder for them to go out there and buy property. All right, so we're starting to see that credit tighten up. Yesterday, we hit 3% on the 10-year. We didn't close above it yesterday, but we hit it. I think we ended up closing at about 2.8 something yesterday. Today, we saw a little bit of movement on the 30-year, all right? So that's finally waking up. All right? People are talking about inflationary fears and whatnot. Because the market is doing so good, I don't know. I don't know about all that. All I know is that right now, companies, the ones that are bold enough to be honest, are telling you that this is the time for you to take your money and run. This is the time for you to take your money and run. All right, let me put, it's been a few days since I've had colored volume bars on there. Let me put that back on here. 1 second, guys. Merge down. All right. Yeah, that's a lot better. So, again, you see the volume really get pretty aggressive here. Let me see, can I make this in front of the other one? Visual order sent to the back. How does that look? Let me see. Hold on. 1 second, guys. Bring to the front. All right. So that's fine. That's fine. So I don't want to dim the MACD too low. But I want the MACD to be in front. Visual send to the back. Send backwards. All right. So that's basically what it is. And I want to get into these put spreads, more or less credit spreads, where we get the profit up front. We'll talk a little bit about that later, and I'll show you some great examples that I initiated today. 646, you're on the air. What's up?
So, it's Ken. I didn't get a chance to call last night. I was watching them. How are you?
Appreciate you, Ken. How are you, bro? How's everything going with your trading?
It's great. It's great. 2 days ago, I think I tweeted you. I got the hell out of Fuse. I sold half position on Friday and the rest yesterday morning, and look how it cracked.
Well, yeah. I mean, it cracked. If you remember, we went back and forth on Twitter where we talked about how Tim Sykes had called out FUSZ, and again, he's got quite a large following. He's put the word out that, hey, he wants a piece of this move. And I have no doubt that you probably have some traders who said, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and take my profits and run here.
Yep. And we broke below the 8-day moving average today. If you notice in each of those corrections in the last 2 months, it always breaks the 21-day and then it bounces back.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And I got the 21 right on the screen right now. So we just tapped the 21 today, but let's see what happens tomorrow. I'm already seeing a bit of cooling on the selling after hours on the larger indexes. I think tomorrow we may have a bounce in the morning, but I don't know if they have the strength to keep it going. So we'll see what happens and how it affects FUSZ.
So good. The MACD is almost crossing negative. That gets me a little concerned, but yeah. It did that last time and then it turned around quick. So we'll see. We'll see. I want to go on the next one, Renova, RNVA. I went in big today on the RNVA. I really had conviction that the 10K, which is out this evening, was going to be good. It shows a profit.
Yes.
I think I'm going to be good tomorrow.
Yeah, RNVA showed it was nice. RNVA, what we wanted to see on RNVA was that the hospital, South Fork Medical Center, was generating revenue, right? And we wanted to see revenue over $1 million, and we saw that. And we saw that. And that was really, at the end of the day, what guys wanted to see. They went out and bought another hospital. So I see, the game plan here. The game plan is basically to go out and buy some of these, regional, medical facilities that offer the ability to get into the healthcare space at a very low cost, but yet be able to generate the same kind of returns that you get at any, medical facility, anywhere in the country. So RNVA is on the right track. They're on the right track. And I want to see what the price action is going to be tomorrow. But that was very, very encouraging to see the fact that, look, they're generating revenue and, things are building slowly but surely.
Yeah. Very good, very good.
Yeah.
That's great. So we'll see. And finally, remember what 2 or 3 weeks ago I kept saying the Bitcoin stocks, Bitcoin, and then I mentioned BTSC. Yeah. It has doubled, Sal, since I brought that one up.
Yes, from BTSC has been an incredible monster, man. We've had a couple guys here on the show bring it up. BTSC
monster kill.
What can you say, man? What can you say? Bitcoin is back. I mean, at least here in the short term, all right, at least in the short term. And these, we mentioned it yesterday on the show how, the rise in Bitcoin is really moving over to now these cryptocurrency equity side of the conversation. And BTSC is leaving these other tickers in the dust. Now, granted, we did see a move today in Riot blockchain, but BTSC, Riot, man, they just really exploded today. Awesome move.
Over 30-something million traded on BTSC. That's good. That's great. It's liquid, which is good.
Absolutely.
So, I just want to ask you your thoughts on the market and all. We have earnings coming out now. I think Caterpillar said that it's as good as it gets now, and that plummeted. And 3M went down hard on their earnings today. And tomorrow we have Facebook and Twitter. That should be interesting.
That's going to be really interesting, especially Twitter. That's going to be very interesting. We're going to see what happens there. Facebook, either way, Facebook is pretty beat up still. We'll see how the market treats that. If you remember the last earnings on Facebook, people were concerned about user engagement and how people were spending a bit less time. Let's see if over the past quarter they've improved that and how it's affected earnings for them. With that being said, if you remember, Ken, the conversation about, generating a third win in this market was the fact that, hey, we got the tax plan a couple months ago and then earnings would justify the valuations of these stocks. Well, come to find out, earnings aren't that impressive. They haven't been that impressive. So with that being said, and now companies saying, hey, this is probably the best you're going to get, as you said, what's the justification for us to go higher? What's the justification for us to set new highs at these levels? And I think the conversation has to go to, all right, now, where do we set the possible low for this market at? I mean, we're up. This has been a 10-year, bull market. Where does the low possibly begin or start at? And at this stage, I have no doubt the utmost comfort of taking some puts here because as these earnings come in, they're not impressive, Ken, and I think we're going a lot lower.
Yeah, the 10-year finally at 3%. I think it's next Tuesday or Wednesday is the deadline Trump sent with China regarding tariffs. If they don't agree to something, then we're going to impose huge tariffs. So that's concerning. We'll see.
Right, and we thought that's this Chinese question. Right, that volatility out of the Chinese conversation in regards to trade was off the table a week or so ago when they came out and said they were ready to play ball. Here we have now a week later, we're talking China again. So I think you sell the market here. Use a great moving average and stay in the trade as long as you stay beneath whatever that moving average is for you and play it that way. I think. We saw huge inflows, and I put that out there today on Twitter too. Over $1.6 billion went into the queues last week. But what people get lost in the inflow number when we talk about these ETFs is that many times that shorting, right, they also include shorting as part of inflows. So inflows, people think, well, there's more money coming in on the buy side. No, it could also be an indication that many of these institutions are shorting the stock market right now, shorting these ETFs, and I think they're doing it, and we saw it today.
Very, very interesting. It is interesting. Can I just mention two more other penny stocks that I forgot? Like CELZ, that's the stem cell one, and that held most of the gain it made yesterday. And I think they still have another few $100,000 that they have to dilute to get rid of their debt, but that. With this kind of volume in CELZ, that could be gone in about a week or so, and it's encouraging that it held a good chunk of the gain. We'll see what tomorrow brings.
Yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings. And my thing, as long as it's staying up above that 21 moving average for me, then I don't see anything wrong, and I won't say anything that's wrong with it. And it's been holding it very, very well. The 21 EMA is one that's very respected for short-term trends. And again, as long as the stock stays above that, I think you just enjoy the ride up and down.
Yeah, definitely. And the last one, BYOC. The BYOC was the one that went from 15 back down to 5, and it's looks like it's trying to start an uptrend. The volume's weak on it, but hey, don't discount that one.
Right, and it's promising, Ken, because it's coming out of the low RSI level. A couple of days ago we were talking 20, 26, 27 RSI BYOC, and yeah, you're about to get the MACD moving average crossing over as well. You're about to see the RSI cross back above 50 on that. So if it does that, then you could have something where you might want to start an entry level position and see what happens here.
Yeah, it's interesting. One more thing, Twitter. Do you remember 3 weeks ago there was an entity that they bought a tremendous amount of May monthly $35 calls? It'll be interesting tomorrow to see if Twitter beats before the market opens and if it gaps. I just remember that, and that'll be interesting.
Yeah, if Twitter beats, though, here's the thing: will Twitter run in a market that's selling off? That's the thing I'd love to see. If they go out and announce. And matter of fact, is that Twitter market is it going to be in the AM or
7 a.m.? It's AM.
All right. So again, if it's going to be in the AM, let's say we get a bounce tomorrow. That's going to be helpful. But if the market sells off, does Twitter hold those gains? That's going to be an interesting thing to see on Twitter, because if you saw,
I highly doubt it.
Right, if you saw, for example, what was this tech? Was it J.P. Morgan today? But you had a move today, or was it INTC? I think it was INTC. And if you look at that chart today, man, you had on INTC. If you guys remember on my option show, I put out Intel. Intel was having a great morning.
Yes, it did.
It had a great morning. The market had a good morning. In fact, we gapped up this morning in the market, and then eventually those earnings, people digested it and sold off. So this chart today on INTC, this 5-minute chart, is what I think could happen on Twitter. If they beat, you have maybe a small short-term move to the upside, but if the market sells off, I don't know if Twitter can hold off all day. So this is what it could look if, Twitter bangs the number out, but unfortunately, across the board, we start seeing red.
Yep. Well, it's all good. Thanks, Sal. Appreciate
it, Ken. Thank you, man. Shout out to Ken for the call. So, this is what could happen. This is what could happen. You see the nice move in Intel. Prices were moving higher very aggressively, unusually pretty aggressively. And then, the market turned around, and at the end of the day, people are going to say, hey, what's going on here? Let me take my money and run. And you saw the stock sell off. 857, you're on the air. What's up?
What's going on, Sal? Getting in contact with you is like trying to get trying to get into like one of those OTC penny stocks. But listen, right? I had Tesla.
Yeah.
Today was a market sell-off, and Tesla didn't crack. So, I sold my put options on it. I did okay on it, and I don't know. It just held up. It showed real strength today. Everything tanked, and it closed in the green. I don't know
it held up, man. I was actually quite surprised. I mean, there are a few tickers like that too that not sure where they were at, man. I mean, we saw the very similar move in companies like Verizon. I mean, but yeah, Tesla, you just didn't have that kind of volatility today. Now, here's the thing. It could be a delayed reaction. We could see Tesla sell off 5 points tomorrow. Who knows? We don't know. I would have loved if you held, because you're still, again, underneath that 21 EMA. So we're still talking a bearish stock here, but we'll see what happens moving forward on Tesla.
Yeah, and one more thing, LIBE did pretty good too. It's an OTC counter stock. It's an energy company too.
Okay, LIBE. Yeah, not familiar with LIBE. Looks like you had a really good. Actually, had a pretty decent couple days here, but looks like your volume day was today. Brought in a lot of volume, 39%. You're moving up higher here on the RSI. This could be the beginning of something. Who knows? Looks like it's.
I didn't play it today, but I played it maybe a month ago, and I made 70% return on it, and I had it weeks ago, and I let it go.
Yeah, it looks like it's undergoing some kind of pump here. So, nice play on that. We'll see how far that goes.
Yeah, and I let it go, and as soon as I let it go, it went 35%. I was a little pissed about that. And another thing I got this off it's not concerning any stocks or nothing, but it's called the move Purge, and it's on July 4th, and it's basically to me it's kind of inciting a race riot with whites against blacks, and I just don't understand why would Hollywood promote something like that on the 4th of July, which is independence, of America, and you're coming out with a movie basically that's promoting, hate.
Yeah. That's a topic I could have a whole show on, man, and I'll find some time to get into that, but. Very, very disturbing. I guess it's being set as a prequel. If you haven't seen the trailer, go see the trailer that's already online. Very, very disturbing, and it's really unfortunate that it's coming out at a time like this, especially what happened this past weekend. So
I'm guessing it's probably Trump's adversaries that's coming out, that's promoting this stuff.
I don't know what it is. I'm gonna get back to stocks, but all I know is that it's just disappointing, and it's just not content we need out there right now. That's what I can say about that.
Okay, Sal. Thanks, man.
Appreciate
Keep it up.
You, bro. Thank
Love
you.
the show.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, y'all. I mean, I want to get into it, bro, but when I start spitting that fire, man, people just go ahead and post and alert and all, send, tag this shit and all that. Report me to YouTube. You can't handle the truth. What's going on, Dr. Butterfly? Yeah, Vic, I see you, Vic Real. Hey, man, look, just sit back and enjoy the show. You'll get the conversation over some time, but just make sure you're dedicating yourself, because this is really a craft that you gotta learn, and if you're willing to put in the effort, it can be very, very life changing for you. All right. So just sit back and enjoy the show. You'll figure it out eventually. 206, Mr. Lloyd, what's going on, man?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was in that market today too, but I hear I echo.
You hear an echo?
Yeah, I hear myself talking in the background. You got to turn your volume down, man.
Hold on.
I don't want to hear myself.
All right, is that better?
Yeah, it's better, man. Yeah,
Mr. Lloyd, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, yeah. What's up, Mr. Lloyd?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, so I think yesterday I called some calls for the keys yesterday, but I wanted to say that I don't no longer feel depressed when the market goes up or goes down, because a real trader can trade it under any conditions, and so you should never feel bad. And I think I used to feel bad when I first started, because you used to talk about shorting all the time, and the only thing that I knew was just to go long. And so it was either go long or lose, and basically that's what happened. I just lost and never knew how to protect the trades that I have, and so it comes over time, man. But yeah, so you'll never feel. I mean, if you feel bad about the day the market crashes, that's because you don't know how to make money going in both directions. And once you learn how to do that, then you will never feel bad when the market crashes. And I laugh when I hear it in public. Oh man, the market's tanking. And it's like, well, I'm still making money. So it's only tanking when you don't know.
Right.
And so that's how I feel about it. When I look at my retirement, when it tanks, I call them up today. I say, hey, what's the market tank? What do I do? Do I just buy an option? I mean, nobody could tell me what I do besides lose money out of my retirement. And so that's why I started learning on how to trade, just because if that market crashes again, and if you got $80,000 to $100,000 in your retirement saved, it can go in a heartbeat.
Oh, it's gone. It's gone. 20%, 30%. You got to understand, a bear market is not called a bear market until the market loses 20%. So they will wait till the market sells off 20%, right? We just lost a 5%. We're in the midst of losing a 5% return. If you remember from late March, we sold off. We have a 5% move now. We're selling back to retest those lows. So the market will have to sell off 20% from where we are before they'll call it a bear market. And that means you're talking about millions of people who have 401ks that will watch them lose money before they say, hey, it's time for me to walk out of here.
Right. And they'll give some bogus ass story that Trump burped and all of a sudden the market crashed or something, you know? So, you know, I don't really pay attention to news anymore. Like I said, I just look at the chart, and I still feel like Amazon is going to collapse just by the way the sentiment is right now of how everything is going down. Amazon tried to hang on by giving that announcement because, you know, they knew this was coming and whatever. I mean, I feel like they knew that this was coming. So let me just tell you about my plays real quick. I did do the Qs this morning. I think yesterday I called in and I called I said I was going to do calls.
Yeah.
And so when I woke up this morning, I had 2 calls, and we're gonna have to look at the hourly, or is it the 2 hours? Yeah, the 2 hour it's probably better.
I got the Qs on the hourly if you want. I mean, on the hourly has been pretty negative for some time. Hourly, one of my favorites, time frames. And again, for those of you guys who have those videos I put out, as you can see, the stock, the ETF rather, has been below that 50 moving average. That's your short MACD cross. That's your also put sign there as well. So, you know, you got the indication that we were going bearish for some time.
Is that the hourly?
Yes, this is the hourly on QQQ.
And what is that first candle green there?
What day?
Today. I can't see the.
For today, you have a I mean it's a red candle. It's a red candle. You were green, right? I mean, we did start the day green, but eventually sold off by the end of the hour.
Right, and so you know, now that they have the Qs going for 24 hours, you know, I thought it was good because I was already up a whole dollar from my entry. So I decided to sleep in. You know, like, okay, I'm gonna sleep in, and because I'm already up $1, I thought I can, you know, I'll be good and be up $2 or $3. That shit started to tank. But here's the thing. Here's where learning market psychology comes into play. There was no fear involved, and all I simply did was reverse the trade. I reversed the trade, and did you get that email that I sent you?
If you sent it to me today, I didn't check.
Yeah, so basically, I wanted to just tell people that have small accounts. I bought 2 puts. So I took a loss. I took like a $50 loss for the calls that I made. And instead of fearing and quitting out and walking on to something else and try to learn a new chart, I waited for my entry to get in. And I reversed the trade. And so basically I bought the calls or puts at $49 and sold them at 102. The highest they got was at 143. I sold prematurely. But basically a small account can do the same exact thing, you know, and I started off just like you guys. I kept playing around with it, and I got tired of losing money and walking away. And so I just learned how to short the market. And so you should never feel like you're at a loss, because you just go the opposite way, but you need to make sure that your entry is solid. Don't just get in a revenge trade, because you will get in and get burned. So you need to make sure the opportunity is right. And looking at that Q chart, there was plenty of opportunity there to ride that down. And if you ride it on the hour, if you ride it on the hourly, it's not so intense because you're not seeing the candles go up and down simultaneously. Right. You're just seeing one slow move go down. And basically, when you see that red candle slide down, just imagine $1 going into your pocket. That's all I did all day, was just watch money go into my pocket. I didn't make a whole lot. And it's not about the value anymore. It's about learning on how to correct yourself when you make those mistakes. And, you know, I'm done pumping a lot of money into the market and not getting those returns. Right now, like I told you before, my goal is to learn how to counter when I make a mistake. And that's a lot of I never learned that, as far as how to counter my mistakes or add, you know, add additional puts if I made a bad call. You know, if I bought a very expensive call. So trade management is key, and then psychology is like I said, the last part of this, which I feel like should have been first, but you really need to learn how to do the market first. But anyways, man, so I ended up making I don't know, it wasn't a whole lot. Was it $100, I think?
Okay.
But it's just a learning experience for me. So you guys don't let yourself down, man. I mean, it ain't easy. These terms are once you. I started in 2016. I was just like you. Sal used to say these big ass terms like, "What the fuck?" Like, "Oh my gosh, This guy's a genius. He sounds just like Tim Sykes."
Mm-hmm.
But once you learn this, you will know that we're all on the same caliber page as far as the same page. It's like a video game. You're picking up an Xbox. You're not going to learn how to play it right away if you never play Xbox. It's going to take time, and then you be playing Halo like everybody else. This is no magic skill. This is just patience and psychology and trade management. But,
now, Mr. Lloyd,
I can say
I saw you when I had mentioned credit spreads that you enjoy doing them as well. I in a market like this, I love credit spreads because I love the fact that, especially when you're talking about sell call verticals, where basically I'm betting that the stock will not come back up to a certain price because we have such a bearish nature. Talk a little bit about why you like credit spreads and what you plan on doing with them.
Well, let me explain why I love credit spreads. Because if you play options, basically it's like renting a car, and you rent a car for me, and I'm telling you, okay, you got 3 days to get down 100 miles, and as soon as you get in the car, the wheel will fall off. So basically, this whole option is expiring so fast, and you're losing money. And so basically, a credit spread is that I'm letting you rent my car, and basically, you only got so many days to get down there, and as you drive off the lot, the car's falling apart. And so basically I'm grabbing all the pieces to that car and making a new car. So basically you're selling insurance to people hoping that they can get to their destination in a timely fashion because time decay. They're losing money on options. And so I call credit spreads as a paycheck. And I used to play these things all the time because if you can time the bottom of a chart or a top of a chart, like a double top, basically when you know that it's at its max peak, you buy a call credit spread where you buy one call and you sell another, and the difference between the two, it may be $300. And so if that price stays under, what stock do you have up right now?
Right now I have QQQ, and I'm going to show them. Let me go ahead and show this transaction that I want to put on tomorrow. I think this would help out too. But, that's the thing about credit spreads is that, one, you get to capture, right? Obviously, you capture your profit ahead of time, but you do pay a price if that person or that stock is able to get to that level before expiration, right? So you do pay a bigger price. But here's the thing. What's great about credit spreads is that you get your profit up front. And the likelihood, though, of that stock making it to that number is depending on where, your strike price is, could be very much in your favor. But let me show that to guys here because I think. But
and before you, I'm looking at the Q chart right there. You see the Q right there? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you see the three candles at the bottom right there. Mm-hmm. So let's say you got a reverse. Let's say you got a big green candle that went up.
Yeah.
The best time to get a credit spread is probably right there at the bottom of that doji. And if the price does not go below that doji before expiration or when it expires, basically you get a free check. That's all it is. You get a free paycheck if that price does not exceed the bottom of that doji. And so if you can time the bottom, if your RSI, whatever technical analysis that you're using that you use to validate your trade, and you time that bottom, if the price does not sink to below that, basically you are guaranteed 300, 400, however many options you buy. Basically, whatever risk reward you use, you're guaranteed that price without any time decay, which is a big issue when you play options.
Right.
So basically, people are losing money. They're losing money, but however, when you buy credit spreads, it's like protection. Right. It's the safest trade to me when you do options. I think when you buy options and puts, it's a little bit more advanced because there's too many factors and the stock could be going up and you're still losing money. That's because you bought the wrong spread. So credit spreads are for basically the newbies, but I love them. But I haven't traded them in a while since I've been in Bitcoin, but it's definitely a guarantee. And there is a way to make guaranteed profits. People do it all the time. And you don't have to sit there and watch the play all day long. As long as it doesn't go below that candle, you know you're good. Right. You don't have to know butterflies, anything like that. Just keep your eye on that price. Make sure it doesn't go below there. But are you trading credit spreads right now?
Absolutely, dude. I've been, Mr. Lloyd. I've been trying, so hard to come up with a weekly paycheck system. Because I've been thinking about something where some guys sell courses, some guys just sell promises and teaching you how to. I want to have a system that I can, and I'm in the lab creating one right now that is a weekly paycheck system for brothers and sisters out there who have $1,000, $2,500, who can get into the market and create a weekly paycheck system. I don't care if it's $250, $300. It's something where it can be a baseline for them to start off, and it's simple. They can understand it, and I know that system is in options. It's not going to be in straight trading equities. I've realized that. It's not going to be in shorting. It's going to be in options. I've looked at verticals now. I've done a little bit of verticals now. I'm seeing the credit spreads. I've already had 3 successful in a row, but this next one that ends that I'm going to show in the screen now that I think I'd love to buy on hopefully we get a bounce tomorrow. That's when I'd love to initiate the trade. And it'll be a weekly paychecks. It'll be something where guys can come in and every week be able to pocket some money, with great, of course, stock selection or ETF selection. And it'll be something people can actually grow an account on and not necessarily just be gambling, but actually taking intelligent, high probability trades that work in their favor that get them money.
Right. So my first credit spreads was AZO. I think AZO gives some great returns when it comes to credit because of the how far out they are, and I think the patterns are easy enough to recognize AutoZone. So I think AutoZone is a very good credit spread to trade, along with Priceline as well. But right now, if right now I'm trying to do the SPX, okay. the 2 day, because they have 2 day options, right?
Right.
So I've been trying to learn how to do credit spreads on 2 day options because I wanted those faster paychecks and to capture all that time decay. So it comes with time, but if for a newbie to trade a spread, I think AZO gives out some good returns. It's nice and slow, and the charts are very readable. And Priceline has some good credit.
Yeah.
But every you have to know this. Every option does not have great credit when it comes to getting that paycheck. So you have to have something with a lot of liquidity. Right. And but that's something we can talk about in the future, man. It's funny that you're coming around to it. But I'm working on the strategy right now to do the 2 day turnaround paychecks instead of the every 15 days or every 30 days to capture all the credit.
Absolutely. So here's the thing, Mr. Lloyd. The strategy I'm working on. It's a Wednesday through Friday. So it's you get in on Wednesday, then you ride it till Friday. And because Monday it's kind of panicking. You don't know where the direction of the week, and especially when you're talking about QQQ or SPY, you're not sure really to put on an option for that Friday on a Monday. You're not sure yet. And I think Wednesday to Friday, so far, again, my last 2 trades in a row have been, and I've been quiet about it, have worked out. And I want to see now, putting this out publicly, how this exactly works, you know, and introducing it out to the system. But again, I haven't concreted yet, but I want to put out a trade, and you tell me about it.
Yeah, I think if anybody wants to learn this, and where I learned it from was Tasty Trades. It's boring as hell to go through all those damn videos,
Absolutely.
But they gave me the beginning of how to do verticals and the understanding of it, and I lost a few times before I realized on how to do it. But do you have an AZO chart up real quick?
Yeah, let me put that up for you. AZO AutoZone. There it is.
I see it. Give me 1 second. Let me wait till that chart pops up there. Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, so basically, when you buy a credit spread, you'll make money when it moves sideways and even against you, but not too far against you. So that's when you get into a market that's moving sideways, we as traders cannot capitalize off that. Basically, we're getting, what do you call it? We're getting whipsawed. And so when you're getting whipsawed in the trade, the best time to do a credit spread is when you're getting whipsawed, because when the price is in a channel, as long as it doesn't go below that channel for that extended period of time, you're guaranteed that paycheck. And so that's why I like when the market is moving sideways and people say, "Oh, I'm not making any money. I only went up 2 cents today." If you bought a credit spread, it doesn't matter, because as long as it doesn't dip below that candle, you're guaranteed that paycheck. Yeah. And so you don't have to worry about playing 2 cents here, 3 cents here, paying all that commission when you just pay a one-time fee. And regardless on how the market moves, sideways, up, and even against you a little bit, you'll still make money. But a lot of people don't realize that when they're trading credit spreads, and it takes time. So you guys write this down. Go to Tasty Trades. They'll teach you on how to do it. And I'm not perfect at it, but I know there's money to be made. But because I trade so many markets, I just try to keep myself pretty versatile. But if you guys ever want to talk about it, man, I'm down for it. Do you have a look? And look at this. Look at the AZO trade there. I mean, look how long it went sideways.
And here's the thing, and because Mr. Lloyd is talking about betting on a stock not selling off past the previous level, I love the other side of the trade, which is basically betting that a stock won't come back up to a certain level. And I love that side of the trade, just because if a stock has negative sentiment, right, and it's selling off, I'd rather bet that it's not going to come back up than keep going down. So I want to show that, QQQ in particular. So this being under that short-term moving average, the 21, my favorite. Let me see if I can put that on. And again, Mr. Lloyd, if you remember, when we talk about these credit spreads, our maximum loss is the margin that we put up. And the margin that you put up is always, on a credit spread, always going to be more than what you take in. Why? Because you're betting that the stock isn't going to get there. So your risk, you got to put up more risks than you actually get back, because if it actually makes it happen, if it actually gets to that number, that's quite incredible. And that's why you're going to take a greater loss than what you would get in. So credit spreads always going to cost you more than you get in, but you do get a higher percentage of that return if it doesn't make it. So let me show you a trade, and I think you'll get it. And again, I'm using Tasty Trade, by the way, too.
And I want to say this too, Sal. A good indicator for verticals is the cloud. And the reason why I say that is because, like I said, credit spreads, you can make money when the market moves sideways. And so when price goes into the cloud, that is going to cause consolidation. And so when the market consolidates, you're making money. So I mean, it's not just the price staying below the candle, but like I said, sideways, and even in the direction that you're going against you, even slightly. But like I said, you can make money in all directions, regardless of what's going on. So, but the cloud is a very good indicator to use, because vertical spreads are very good for consolidation. Mm-hmm. So like the Q tops there, even when you have 4 candles right there, that's a great that's a great vertical to put on.
Absolutely. And to get this started, let me see here, horizontal line. Yeah, I'll put that down. Now this one starts at 162. So basically, this trade requires that QQQ not come back above 162 by Friday. That's what I would be betting on this following trade that I'm going to post here. And let me show you how this works out. All right, let me open that up for you a little bit. All right, I'll open this up for you a little bit. There it is. You can see it nice and clear. So basically what I'm betting is that QQQ will not be above 162 by April 27th. I'm going to bet $1,900. That's the margin. And I'm going to be credited $600 if the price of QQQ winds up being less than 162.12 by April 21st. All right?
Right.
So I'm basically betting that and again, this is the reverse. This is a sell call vertical. So I'm betting that it's not going to come back higher. I'm betting that it's not going to come back higher. All right? And my credit is 600 minus, of course, the transaction cost. But again, if somehow QQQ winds up above 162.12, then yes, I take that L of almost $1,900 on this trade. Now, some people are going to look at that and say, man, that risk reward, I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. But again, that's this is the level I can do a trade like this. I can do a trade like this. Now, and again, this is almost 50 contracts. For you, it could be just one. If you just take one, I mean, it's like $12.39. So, or just maybe 10, which is why my almost like 50 to 10 or something. I don't know, something like that. But you're going to set the trade to where it works out for you. You're going to set the trade where it works out for you. But I know a lot of guys who wouldn't mind betting $1,900 to make $600 this week. I think that's not a bad trade.
Well, and the Qs, you have to buy a larger abundance of them to make that type of money. So if you go, I don't know what the ticker is for price. Do Amazon. Do a spread on Amazon. It's far less and it's more profitable.
Okay,
so Amazon and
Amazon. And Mr. Lloyd, you can do it with me, unless I don't know if you got your broker up. I'm more than happy to select.
Let me see.
One for you. I like the Qs because I like the liquidity, right? I want to be able to instantly, when it's time to sell, boom, I'm out the trade because on those. But I know Amazon's got liquidity too on certain ones. I'm looking at
when it comes to credit, liquidity doesn't matter. As you said before, you're buying one. You can buy one contract.
True.
AZO doesn't have a lot of liquidity, but you can buy and sell one contract and make the same amount of money as you are in the Qs. And basically you want that contract to expire worthless. And so you don't have to have that liquidity. You can just buy one. So we were talking yesterday about saving money for brokerage fees. You're still feeding the broker your fees by doing this. That's why you want to play Amazon or Priceline, where the money. Let me put one Amazon on real quick and see how much it will be for a spread real quick, because you can see the difference. Let's do May 4th, and let's say we'll buy at the money because we know Amazon is going to tank, so we're going to buy so a vertical real quick. So the vertical, I'm gonna buy the 1465s. Wow. Buy the sell the 1465s and buy the 1467 one contract. They'll cost. So the max loss is $105 for a max profit of $145 if it stays below 1466. But that's pretty risky. You have to know that you're at the top if you're going to play something like that. So it's almost 1-to-1. And so, you can make the same amount of money, and you don't have to put up that much capital. And sometimes, if you time it correctly, the reward is greater than the risk. I played $90 for $500. You just have to find those. It's out there, but it's. So you're on the right track, man. You're on the right track, and we'll get together soon so we can find these paychecks. This is where I was at. So, yeah, I mean, you get what I'm saying. And look, let me get off the phone because Parker Mills has called me motor mouth, so I don't want to be hogging the line up.
I appreciate you, Mr. Lloyd. We're just bouncing ideas off each other, but I think we're heading in the right direction here. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Mr. Lloyd, Ken, my last two callers. And I think it was there Gucci who called it earlier? I appreciate all my callers, man. Appreciate you. We're just bouncing ideas off. We're having conversations here about how to make some money. This is what this show is about. Because these are not conversations that take place in a community like that, and I want to have these kind of conversations. Let's talk about strategies to increase our probabilities of being successful and being able to make money consistently. That's what I want to. That's where I want to get to, and develop a system around that we can share with people. Because again, there's more than enough money out here. All right, 612, you're on the air. What's up?
Cabron, what's up, Sal?
Hey, Chris, what's going on, man?
I'm okay. Two things. Hey, I'm glad you and Mr. Lloyd got those credit spreads on deck, but I'm all about directional plays and going naked.
Absolutely.
Sir, check this out. Do you know what trading platform, what trading app can I use on just a phone? Does anybody know to get those 5-minute and 1-minute charts? Because I'm only using stockcharts.com right now, and they only give me the weekly and daily option. And if anybody knows that.
Oh, man. I mean, who's your broker?
Man, I'm Robinhood. And Capital One.
Okay, so I would just probably use TD Ameritrade. I mean, TD Ameritrade. Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to have any money with them. Just open up the account, and you can just log in and just use their app to for the graphing purposes or level 2 looking up. I mean,
I hear you. They want me to download a browser, update a browser. So, okay, I've been on it. I went there, and they wouldn't even approve me for options still. But I've got my options plays in. But they want me to download update a browser. I don't want to do that. So, okay, I'll keep searching. You got a way I can call you on Skype? Can I call you on Skype?
Yeah. I mean, you can hit me up on Twitter, and I can send you that information if you don't want to use the phone. But, yeah, I mean, hit me up on Twitter. I can send you that information.
Okay, man. That's why I be so short, man, because I'm like calling on just a regular call. So I'm not trying to be rude, Cabron. What if you develop your payment plan and paycheck for the people that's only get $1,000 on what you just got done talking about? I can put you on, come down here and you set up overseas with a bunch of Dominican girls and show them how to put their money to work. What about that?
We'll get into that, bro. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Gracias. Te quiero mucho. Okay, I'm gone, man.
All right, appreciate you. Shout out to Christopher Jewell out there in the Dominican Republic. It's just costing him a grip to make that. I don't know how much it costs, but I'm sure, to call the U.S. from the Dominican Republic probably isn't, that cheap. Probably isn't that cheap, Yeah. Probably isn't that cheap. All right, 919 Bats. What's up, man?
Hey, Sal. Chris is a trip, man.
Yeah, very much.
I'm still laughing. He seems to be having a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt that he is.
Yeah, so, we could talk about NASDAQ. We could talk about OTC, but boring. I mean, you know me right now. I've been doing nothing but trading the SPY.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the 5-minute chart on the SPY, because this is just incredible. Once again, the power of options.
Yeah.
What you do with that. Okay, so get this. Okay, so today I traded maybe not even a tenth of the move that happened, and can you see like the SPY today? The general trend was downward.
Yeah, very much so, man. Very much so.
So look at the sixth candle on the 5 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I traded that green candle and the second green candle, which is, I don't know, that's maybe like a 20th of the move downward. And I took a call actually. Just those two candles, and I made 16% in 7 minutes. 16% in 7 minutes. Right now, as I was looking at, because if you'd taken a 268, so a 268 strike price as a put.
A nice deep in the money put. That's a nice one.
Yeah, if you had made a put right at the top and traded the whole thing down, do you know how much you would have made? And this is why I'm saying like an OTC is just a joke compared to this.
Yeah.
535% is what I worked out just in today's move, and we're talking about maybe, what was it, like a $6 move from as high as, up there at 268 and trading it down to about 262. That was equivalent, if you'd gone in on options, that was a 535% move. Perfect. And I only caught 15% of that in 7 minutes. So, and I went opposite. I actually went against the grain. I went against the trend and went with a call option. But if I just shorted it at 268, that's as much as I would have gained. I would have, made 535% riding it all the way down.
Yeah.
So this is why, from the time that I started option, no thanks to you, no thanks to Connor, and even Mr. Lloyd, you guys were talking about options like a couple of years ago. You were talking about that.
Yeah.
That's why I said, yesterday you said, there's a lot of manipulation in the OTC, and I agree. You can promote a stock, you can bankrupt people. You can't really do that with SPY. You're talking about the S&P 500. How do you promote 500 stocks that could be up or down every day? So I agree with you. I agree with Mr. Lloyd. I know Gucci had said, there's not much manipulation in OTCs, but if you are heading, and this, you've been a stock promoter, so you are probably the most experienced in this. With OTC companies, you can single-handedly send out promos and manipulate stocks up and down. But you look at something like SPY, or you were talking about the triple Q, QQQ. You can't really manipulate that.
Impossible, pretty much.
Yeah, so this is why I'm saying, I made a comment, something along the lines of, options trading is a sophisticated form of OTC trading because you just can't compare it. Look at the top performing OTC stocks today. So basically the trade I made today, and I'm probably at 80 or 90% success rate because I have yet to lose. I think the one time I lost $9, and that was only because I didn't factor in the commission. But every trade I've made so far, and yes, I might be on a streak, but every trade I've made, I've made 10%, 15%, 20% on every trade I've taken on the SPY, except that one day where I lost $9. So you take something like the SPY, a $260 plus stock, and the trade I made essentially today was, I believe, 50 cents or 55 cents. I made 55 cents on a $267 stock, and made freaking 15.5% gain in 7 minutes, and I didn't even catch a 20th of the move. That's the power of options. And let me say, like, my expiration date, I mentioned this last week that with my style of trading, because I'm looking to day trade the SPY, if you're very confident in the way you're trading, what you're aiming to do is shorten the expiration date. So initially when I tried 2 weeks ago, I was picking dates, expiration dates a week out.
Yeah.
The last yesterday, today, and I believe on Friday, I'm now picking next day expirations. I could even go so far if there were same day expirations, I would pick those, because as you shorten your expiration dates, the amount of money you can make in a day trade then becomes larger, because your expiration date is shorter.
Now, Bats, we do have to add though, your risk does goes higher, but you're absolutely right. Being that time value is practically expired, that if you got the right direction, your profits could. I mean, just the magnitude of the profits are insane.
Correct, and the risk is higher, but I would say maybe just more conservative approach would be pick a week, an expiration of a week away. But I'm getting so comfortable trading this that I could even pick a same day expiration, because I've done nothing but study the SPY on the 5 minute, on the 1 minute, using different indicators. Like I explained, when was it last week, where it's like NASCAR, when you've driven on the same track year after year, there's a point where you could actually end up driving it blindfolded. So instead of just getting into like every stock under the sun, where you don't quite know how it behaves and so on, learn one or two stocks and learn what the heartbeat of those stocks, learn the ins and outs of that stock till it becomes second nature. And Mr. Lloyd was talking yesterday about, nerves and getting into something. This is where options is good, and to a certain extent OTC stocks are good, because if you get in with a few $100 with the possibility of making 20, 30, 40%, with $100 or $200 or $300, you kind of get in with a certain sense of confidence, where you're like, well, if I do lose a couple $100, that isn't any more than I've been losing, trying to buy a stock outright.
Absolutely.
So, so you need to put yourself in a mindset where it's like, okay, if I had to throw away money, if I had to flush away money, what is the value of that? Like, is it 100? Is it 200 and 300? Once you decide what that is, through options play, because you only have to risk that much, play that, and that's something I mentioned to Stock God, like people paper trade. That is my paper trade, because what you want is knowing how to trade, a small position. If you lose it, if it's 100, 200, at the stage where some of us are at, that's not really anything to cry about, losing 100 or losing 200. If you're prepared for that and you've studied one or two charts, you can go in with that as a paper trade, and that's essentially what I've been doing over the last 2 weeks, is going in. The first time I started with $500. I nearly doubled the account in 3 trades, but I only increased it by 80%. Good luck trying to make that in the bank. My calculation was that I'd have to, growing $500.
Oh, there's no bank in the world giving you. There's no bank in America giving you 1%. I mean, let alone 30 to 40. So I definitely get where you're getting at, Bats. I mean, and here's the thing, you with going overnight or even a couple days, you can forget about having the PDT rule being a nuisance to you. I mean, if you go all in, you can basically forget about the PDT rule. It won't even exist to you, honestly. So, I mean, there are things that we're learning and we're growing and we're figuring it out here. Obviously, there's always going to be money to make trading, straight stocks, but we're talking about leverage and how do we get people from going from $5,000 accounts to $25,000 to $50,000 accounts, and I think you maximize the potential of getting that when you trade options.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to all of those who are trading OTCs. OTCs, yes, they pay off, but eventually, I'm talking about making day trades where every day you're basically making 5, 10, 15, 20% and risking less. I mean, right now, Warrior Trader and all these guys, Tim Sykes, to make the money that they're making, they're having to honestly, look at their trades. They're having to put in $5, 10, 15, $20,000 to even make 5 or 6%. My calculation was even the best of day traders are making somewhere between 5 and 7%, and I'm making the same percentage gain and risking a tenth, sometimes even as much as 1/50th of what they're risking to make the exact percentage gain. So my whole thesis now has totally, I used to be into NASDAQs because they were pretty stable, and then I went to OTCs because the percentage gains you can make from there are pretty wicked. The problem is you're having to wait sometimes a month, 2, 3 months on those lottery tickets to pay off. Today I just described the SPY, a $265 stock that only typically moves $1 or $2 a day. Today it sold off, I agree, it sold off a lot. Just in that $6 move was a 535% gain to someone who if they'd actually, purchased a put at the top at 268, ridden it down $6, would be up 535%, only risking a couple $100. So I'm sorry, guys, there's no comparison. OTCs, trading regular stocks, there's no comparison to options. I'm not even talking about anything fancy like iron condors or strangles and straddles. This is just a one-legged play, whether you go as a put option or a call option, 535% potentially. And I made 15% of that in 7 minutes playing against the trend.
There it is, Beth.
So, there it is, Sal. Exactly. There it is. There's really no comparison, and I will continue to trade the SPY.
Yes.
Either one way, going up or going down. When I start failing and when things start not working out, that's when I'll change my game plan.
There it is,
but
bro.
for now, I'm just going to keep it the way it is. Thanks, Sal.
Thank you, Bats. Appreciate the call, man.
All right, take care. Bye.
Yes, indeed, man. Shout out to Bat Scientist. Appreciate the call. He's all in for it now, man. He's all in it for it. Trading options. That's pretty much where he's put his lot now. And I don't think he'll ever go back to straight stocks again. All right. I told you guys that Warrior Trading guy was a clown, man. I tried to have him on my show back when I was really trying to do interviews big, but a lot of these guys, they don't want to have a hot phone. They don't want to have, to be in front of people, talk live to an audience that isn't paying them. And they don't want to do that. And they basically ditched on me twice. Oh yeah, we're going to be on the show tonight. Then show up. I got a, Twitter. Oh, we can't. 2 times. I was like, fuck it, man. And, and there's an article out there calling him, a fraud or whatever. But I'm not a believer in anything that Warrior Trading is doing. I don't believe anything that they do over there at Warrior Trading. I haven't found one guy who has paid for Warrior Trading courses who can come back to me and say, hey, man, this guy, I've learned so much from him. I'm a consistent trader now because of him. I haven't found one guy. I can find a ton of Tim Sykes dudes, all right? Not millionaires, but they can say, shit, man, I learned a lot from that guy. But I haven't found one guy from Warrior Trading. NVCN, somebody brought that up in the chat room. No, it looks horrible, bro. NVCN looks horrible. You're gonna have to tell me what you see in it. It looks horrible. I don't even know what the delist risk is on here. Is it OTC or is it still on the NASDAQ? I don't know how long you have left before this thing gets delisted. All right. Is Deckmar legit? Deckmar's cool. I had Deckmark on the show. He's a cool guy. He's all right. He's all right. And he's got a quite committed, fan base or group of students that, yeah, he's cool. He's cool. He's cool. All right. There's no trend. SQQ. Yeah, SQQQ. Remember these SQQQs? Look, just go figure. Look, you saw, incredible 2017, right? Look at the volume coming in on these short-term, inverse ETFs. Look at the volume coming into these plays, right? Look, so, on the short-term side of the move, again, you can't hold QQQ, SQQQ forever. But a day, 2 days, because you got to understand it resets daily. So, 1 day, 2 days, you get in, take a break, get back in. That's how you play SQQQ. It's not something that you hold and just, sit in days at a time. All right. But looks very, very good. Looks very, very good, SQQQ. You can sit in it, but why would you want to? Because you got to remember, these are leveraged ETFs. So you go up 6% one day, tomorrow you're down 4%, then you're up. So, you want to go in, get that day's move, come back out, right? Take a break, figure out where it's going, go back in. That's how you kind of want to trade these highly leveraged, especially when you're talking about something like this, which is a 3x leveraged product. All right. Treasure Hunter, what's up, man?
What's happening, sis? What's happening with you?
Hey.
Man, I was going to say, man, let me see, where did I start? Your show been off the chain. Let me see. Hold on, I hear the echo. Hey, can I hit you back real fast?
All right, appreciate it. No problem, man.
All right, man. Hit you right back.
All right. Call me back, bro. Guys are saying, hey, I got my volume on the lowest possible. All right. Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about the PDT if you just spread your trades out a little bit. Stay away from intraday trading and actually look at some swing trading. All right. All right. You don't have to pull up 20 stocks. Sometimes, dude, like what Bats just said, 1 to 3 stocks. And a couple. Oh, let me see this. Yeah, 1 to 3, 1 to 5, just a few stocks very, very, very well, and just doing the same thing over and over and over to the point where them by the back of your hand, kind of like what Batch is talking about. And I know Mr. Lloyd was like that a lot too with Priceline when he was going back and forth with Priceline. He just knew the stock by the back of his hand. He got to a point where he knew what it was going to do. Parker Mills, yeah, we checked out BTSC. It's incredible. GERN, I don't know where GERN is going now. Nice bounce, though. I don't know where it's going now, but nice bounce back above the 21 moving average on GERN. Treasure Hunter, you back on. What's up?
All right. How about now, Style?
There it is.
A lot better. All right, man. I was going to say, man, your show's off the chain, Sal, and you have been a blessing to all of us, bro. Definitely keep up the good work. But I was gonna say, bro, I was in the hood all day long today, bro. OTCs, man. I didn't even know the market was in the red, man. All my plays was in the green. Let me see the one play. Thanks, Sal. I definitely hung in there. I doubled my money. Now the way it's looking, I'm gonna end up tripling my money if it keeps going good. I remember those other plays back in the days like Dries and AMD. I cashed out too early, but this play seemed like it's ended up being like a Dries or AMD or whatever back in the day. The BTSC.
Yeah, BTSC has been a monster, man. BTSC has been a monster. We just had somebody in the chat room talk about BTSC has been a monster. And again, we've been talking about what Bitcoin has been doing here, so it's no surprise. It's no surprise. It's been no surprise if that's what you want to trade on the OTC side of the markets. And Bitcoin's running as long as it continues to run. BTSC is probably where you want to be. Now you're a bit overextended here, so you're going to see BTSC cool down or Bitcoin cool, whatever it is. But you're a bit overextended here. The move was made when you crossed above the 21 moving average. This is where you started a nice little position here as it got back to some profitability, again, crossing over the 50 moving average as well. You had the MACD crossover a couple of days ago. You want to get into these stocks, when that alert goes off, right? When that positive momentum is shown that, hey, there's been a change here in sentiment. And again, so many guys don't do it because they have the mentality that they're going to put the whole size in. Just put a little bit in. Just put a little bit in.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Just start with 100 shares, 50 shares, whatever it is, and see what that does. If it continues it's the movement higher, then you can add. But you can start a starter position in stocks that you're interested in where the move is going.
Right. Listen to Sal, man. He telling y'all what's up, how to get paid on OTC kind of thing, and the rest of these plays,
Absolutely, man. That's why a lot of those. When we used to do those promos, Treasure Hunter, the smart way to play the promos wasn't to jump in the whole thing. The smart play, because you don't know if it was going to dump or not. The smart way to do it was to start with a small position, and then if it went your way, then you add it up, and you add it up on the way higher. That's kind of how you do it, even with Black Box. That's, if you're not sure or you start with a small, and then you add up on the web. Because you remember, when it's time to sell out, that's still one day trade, right? That's still considered one trip, especially if you're under the PDT rule. So intraday, and you're trading intraday if you want, that's how you start off, with a small entry level position, and then you add up as it goes higher.
And let me see, I'm still holding on to the RXMD. It's still doing that crazy wind up, bro. I'm waiting for something to happen, either go up or down or something.
Well, right now, I mean, it's very bearish, and all the indicators are saying bearish. But I mean, you're getting tight here on the MACD, so you might, let's see if you got a day or two left. But the last couple of days, I mean, they've been quite bearish in RXMD. But if you're in it now at these nines. You're probably where you want to be here if that eventually does cross over and you start to see some movement higher. So you're where you want to be, but at least for the last few days, there was no indication of this moving higher.
And the other one, Sam, you both know this is shit play, a shit pinball play, but I just had to do it. Crazy little wind up. Took a little small position back in the BVTK, was it? Yeah, I just like
BT what?
You might be BVTK.
BBTK?
No, BV.
Oh, BVTK. Okay, BVTK.
Yeah. I'm saying he might be 12 cents tomorrow, but I just had to make a little profit on him today.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's look, it is what it is. I mean, when you're talking about something like this, I mean, it's at 0016. I mean, he's got these, it is what it is on that one, man.
True that. Yeah. I'm saying you already know what that one is, but I just had to do it. Throw stuff on that one. So those were plays, man, and we'll see what they do tomorrow, man. And then again, man, your show's banging, bro. Show the good work, Sal.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, Treasure Hunter, for the call. Thank you for the call. All right. Yeah, look, I mean, at the end of the day, some guys like to trade what they want to trade, man. You know, some guys want to trade what they want to trade. You know, they're comfortable with a certain market, and it is what it is. You know? And more power to them. Treasure Hunter's not going to call up here one day and talk about Home Depot or anything like that, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. EPE. We saw energy stocks, sell off pretty much a little bit today too. We saw energy come back a little bit. Exxon, played to the market today on Exxon. You had a really nice little run in Exxon over the last couple of days from those mid 76s. Almost put $2, and over the last 2 weeks in Exxon, nice move for those options. But Exxon, sold off today as the market sold off as well. All right, nice move on Exxon. What do I think about cat call options? They had good earnings, but down. Well, you missed the beginning of the show. Cat is pretty much done for the year. They said they're done for the year, pretty much. So Cat, I think it's a put here at these levels on Cat. All right, they told you today that this was their high watermark for 2018. If you read their earnings statement, and by the way, you can check out marketbeat.com. You can listen to some of these earnings calls that are coming out after they post them out, mostly right immediately after the calls, or you can listen to them live. But, when you're listening to these calls, they're very honest with you, right? When you're talking about these 30, 40, 500, 600 billion dollar companies, they're not OTC companies. They're not going to bullshit you. They're going to say up front, we are expecting, a troubling 2018 year. We're seeing the probability for higher interest rates to, incur a slowdown on our top line and bottom line revenue. They're very honest about that shit. All right? They're not going to fuck around. They're not going to fuck around like OTC stocks. All right? And Caterpillar, 3M, they were very honest today. And those are big parts of the SPY. Caterpillar and 3M. They're pretty big parts of that. All right. And we got some really interesting earnings coming this week too, right? Because we got off the phone earlier with Ken. We talked about Twitter. We talked about Facebook. So we've got some very interesting earnings. Let me see what's on deck for tomorrow. Boeing. Yeah, we got Boeing tomorrow. That's a huge part of the transportation sector. Boeing took a $10 loss today. Right? We got Boeing tomorrow. We got Blue Cross Blue Shield, parent company, Anthem, ANTM. Tomorrow we got a few interesting companies tomorrow. Boston Scientific tomorrow. Northern Southern Corporation, right? The big but railroad company. Right? They're all about freight and logistics. That's a huge transportation play. So we got a few very interesting earnings announcements tomorrow that are also going to dictate, where the market. We got Viacom tomorrow, USG, quite a few. All right, wow, yeah, actually some big name companies tomorrow, man. Some pretty big name companies tomorrow. All right, Brinks, DTE. All right. But what I really want to know from somebody in here, no one even brought it up. Nobody even brought it up. But what's going to happen with AMD? Nobody's even talking about this one. But I used to have a lot of AMD fanboys in here, and I don't know where they, AMD. I guess you guys got burned. You don't bring it up anymore. But AMD earnings is, I want to say, let me check AMD. AMD is the 25th. Tomorrow after hours. Tomorrow after hours is AMD earnings. All right. I'm seeing a 77% chance of beating. I don't know. I don't know about that, but they're giving it a 77% chance. If you remember last earnings go around, AMD, actually did well, but as you saw, they sold off quite aggressively, by the way. Quite aggressively on that last earnings report. Although it was a good number. And also before the Bitcoin, if you remember during their Bitcoin hurrah, they sold off quite aggressively into the rise of Bitcoin. I remember, we were talking about $14, $15 AMD. This has been a shadow of itself, now trading at 10. But if you remember, that sold off into the biggest increase in Bitcoin going into later in the year in the holiday season. So AMD is known for selling, or at least these last two earnings reports, selling not too long after that earnings. So I'm going to try to figure out where the top is on AMD and see whether or not that would be a possibility for a credit spread on AMD, on a short-term credit spread. All right. Christopher, you say you're going to teach Dominican strippers how to trade. Hilarious. Michael Gates, you're deep into AMD on your retirement account, just going to let it ride? Okay. I think that makes sense on a retirement basis just because I can see AMD being an acquisition for somebody else. So, Michael, I can see Michael getting paid on a buyout premium more than I can see AMD going back to, $30 to $40 or what it used to be in the early 90s. I remember when the AMD K6 days. 210, you're on the air. What's up?
What's up, Sal? This is Gerardo.
Hey, Gerardo. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good.
Loving the show.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man. AMD, man. It's looking like it's gonna touch $9 there in the next 2 or 3 days, man.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with you on that. I mean, if you look at the daily chart, I think you might be getting fooled here. Somebody might be getting fooled here on some of these indicators that are looking positive. But, the last two earnings reports have clearly shown that AMD sells off quite aggressively after earnings, even if the number is good. And the last two were good, and they still sold off. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they plays tomorrow. But I think we could be talking $9 AMD by the end of this week. We'll see.
Yeah, possibly lower.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I told you last time I had opened an options account with Robinhood.
Yes.
And it's been going great, man. It's been going really good. I didn't think it was one. I didn't think it was that easy, and number two, I didn't think it was. I didn't know it was that profitable, man.
Absolutely. Now let me ask you: are you doing it on your phone, or are you using it on a computer?
So I have TradingView on my laptop.
Okay.
I have 2 screens dedicated to TradingView.
Oh, so look at you! You're basically just using it to get away from the commission. So excellent.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, man. I mean, I'm using TradingView, and I have one of the pros accounts, and I do the and what I wanted to kind of bring up was I haven't really heard anyone mention like what I've been doing is just kind of so the market sells off, right? It kind of started selling off, a week ago, right? Like last week, Wednesday, Thursday, And so and I saw that certain I don't remember exactly which one. What was it? SPY sold off a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that was like Thursday, Friday. And so there's like other companies like Facebook today, kind of like late to the party, was going sideways. I jumped in, and I saw the indicators on my TradingView account, and I was like, well, this is easy money. I put some puts on there. I just two contracts, naked, and I at one point I was up 150%, But I'm swinging it, so tomorrow I'll sell off. I'll sell it. But it's easy money, man.
Absolutely, man. I mean, and again, you're not putting up as much as you would have if you were trading straight stocks, especially with an expensive stock like with Facebook. But absolutely, I think that's the right call right now on Facebook. I mean, that's another one also, same day, and by the way, same time that they're putting out as well as AMD for earnings. So same day as AMD. It's going to be really interesting to see how they go and how they play out. But that was a good call today on Facebook for you.
Yes. Last week, Thursday and Friday were the 2 days I traded. Was the first 2 days I had the account open with Robinhood, and I doubled my account by 48%.
Sheesh.
In those 2 days. And I'm still learning. I'm not saying I know what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Far from that, but yeah. And then yesterday and today, I lost my ass on Google. What happened? Oh, I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what I got the wrong. I don't know, man. What is it? In the money, out the money kind of thing. Where I didn't know what I was doing.
No, talk to me. What happened? Like what? I mean, what did you end up like? You went the wrong way.
Oh yeah.
You bought too far out.
I have it right here, man. I got 947 puts.
Oh, so you went out the money a little bit. You went too far out the money, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And the contract ended 4/27 this Friday. So I saw them shitting on themselves, and I was like, okay, when is my where's my money at? Like my account kept on getting smaller and smaller. Like, fuck, man, what the fuck? I just sold it.
Yeah.
I sold it. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I'll start off with something else, and I jumped into Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, I'm still. I think those NASDAQ and stuff. It's good to just maybe like if you have extra cash, not doing anything. Just as long-term investments, possibly find stuff to do. But I mean, even with that, you can do options too.
Absolutely.
But anyways, just want to give a shout out to everybody who's kind of taking the show into the options direction.
Yeah.
And a million thanks to you and your show, man. Thanks for always having your show, always kind of being there, and guiding everybody. Even though, maybe some people, have gone in different directions.
Yeah.
But everybody knows that you've kind of planted that seed for this community to grow in that way.
Right. Right.
But so that karma is definitely gonna help you out in the long run too. So 100 blessings to you too, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for the call, man.
Good talking to you.
Yes, indeed, man. So shout out to that. I mean, that's absolutely what's going to happen. I mean, I'm very much a realist, and you can't satisfy everybody, man. You just can't do that. You're gonna, some people are gonna want you a certain way. Some people are gonna, and that's not growth. That's not growth. And unfortunately, some guys are gonna, go by the wayside. But people know what this show is about, man. At the end of the day, it's about us all learning how to make money, and how you make money doesn't have to be how I make money. How I make money doesn't have to be how you make money. I'm always going to have an open line call that whatever it is that how you trade crypto or whatever, you can call in and we'll talk about it. Never ever said, hey, I'm not going to pull that up. So it is what it is, and most people respect that, and most people respect that, and that's how it's going to be. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. But the people who've always loved the show, they're always going to be here, always going to be. And I appreciate all of you guys for that. All right. Put Amazon 15. Close the candles. What I look for on the 4 hour. Let me see on the 4 hour. Let me put it on that 15 though. Oh, okay. This is what you're saying you look for? that last, the closed candle on the 15-minute. Yeah, that's an interesting candlestick to end the day on. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm seeing, a lot of these stocks that sold off aggressively today, they're all up after hours. In fact, I have to pull up to see where we are on the futures market. And I don't like, I don't like being too short term with a lot of these. I see after hours. Oh wow. Okay, after hours, we're actually in the red after hours. God damn, I was actually hoping for a bounce. I'd love the green to red. I'd love another green to red just because to be able to put on get a discount on those puts just for an hour or two, right? And then come back into the red. I love days like that. Green to red days are very good days for puts, and that's why I wanted to show you guys that Intel trade, because this Intel trade, like when you get a trade like this, right, and you're smart enough to buy puts here, those $54 puts, $55 puts, right? Particularly when a stock is going down, I don't like to chase. If the stock is going down, I don't like to buy out of the money options. And I think Gerardo will learn that too. What I like to buy is I like to buy puts above the decreasing price. So, if it's at 50, then I want to buy the 52 put. I want to buy the 53 put. I want to buy that higher delta put that's going to maximize my profit as the price goes down. So the price is going down, and that in the money higher delta put, that 51, that 52, that 53 is increasing greatly in value. Even if we're talking about something that expires, at the end of this week, like Bats was talking about, right? So forget waiting for the stock to come to me. I'm going to maximize the move by buying in the money a high delta put, right? That expires in the same week, right? So it's high time value, and I'm getting the meat. I'm just absorbing the move as it goes lower. I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say with that. But this is man, you pray for, if you're a put buyer, you pray for days like this. You pray for stuff. This is just a beauty. That's just a beauty. That's a beauty right there, man. That's just a beauty right there. All right, what's going on, Stock Guy? All right, so with that being said, let me see here if I have any other news to put out. Saw a few unusual OTC trades. Nobody brung them up during the show, but I'm sure it looks like we might hear about them as word gets out. A few familiar names. I saw OXYS. I'm surprised nobody brought that up. That was a second-day mover. Nobody brought that up. Had a incredible day today, almost $3 million worth of buying. So it looks like the pump is on there very hard. But besides that, nothing else unusual that I want to bring up. Also, another oldie, BMXC or BMXC. Saw a few of that one. That was 100% gain today coming out of those triples. That was an interesting play. Other than that, a couple 75% movers, QMKR, a couple interesting OTC movers. Could be the beginning of something. Who knows? I don't know. But interesting trades, interesting plays. But again, market-wide selling off. Please do some research on those credit spreads. We're still working on that. I'm just bouncing the thing. It was really good. Sharpening steel today with Mr. Lloyd over the phone and Bad Scientist and all my callers today. Really, trying to figure out a good weekly paycheck strategy using options. I just think that's just the way to really get it right. All right. So we're all figuring it out. Said Intel should merge with AMD. I think that's the potential. That's you know, it has a potential for that to happen. That's Intel AMD conversation. That's been happening for the last 10 years. But, you know, they don't even own pieces of each other. So, you know, if it's going to happen, and it's just going to happen one day outright. You know, it's just going to happen one day outright, and we'll all just be, you know, won't be surprised because, again, it's been a conversation that's been happening for. Yeah, Mr. Lloyd, if you got something you want to say, call in. I'm gonna end the show here and wrap it up. I don't like to keep people too late. All right. I know the man wants you at work tomorrow bright and early, but my job is to figure out a way to get you out of that, man. I'm trying to free people. 206, Mr. Lloyd, you're back on. What's up?
All right. So I want to show you what I'm looking at right now live, and so you can see where the mindset that I'm in when I'm trading Bitcoin. I want you to look at the XBT USD on TradingView.
The what?
Sorry, XBT USD.
XBT
USD.
For cryptocurrency on Kraken?
We're gonna do BitMEX.
Okay, BitMEX. Okay, so I'm looking at XBT USD BitMEX chart. All right, so I see here we're at 96.95. Looks like again we've had a really nice
7 minutes. Go to the 7 minute real quick. I want to show you what. Yeah.
7 minute chart.
Yeah, I know it's kind of odd number, but
yeah, very odd. 7 minute. Let me go ahead and add that 7 minute. All right, so here's the 7 minute chart. Okay. All right.
Let me just wait for it to pop in your end so I can see what it looks like on your screen.
All right, no problem. No problem.
Scroll, bring it down a little bit so I can see the double top.
Bring it down a little bit.
Zoom out. Zoom all the way out.
Zoom all the way out.
That's too close.
I know you see it
drag
here.
That damn thing down. I can't see the top. All I see is the. Yeah, you gotta bring. Is it on auto? You gotta unclick that auto if you got it on auto down there. You're not gonna be able to bring the chart down.
I don't know. You kind of confused me, Mr. Lloyd.
We can't see the candlesticks at the top of the chart. All we see is the. Oh, I'm stupid, man. I'm so stupid. Can you believe I had my shit scrolled down? All right, so this is what I'm looking at right now. So you see where the double top is formed. So squeeze that chart together a little bit closer because I think you can see the pattern a little bit better. Squeeze it together. The bottom.
There it is. You should be able to see it now clearly. Hold on.
Okay, so basically, there. Yeah, so you see where it failed up there, right? And basically it happened again. So I'm riding that down right now, and I just ride the waves all day long. I mean, there it is. I mean, you got the confirmation and just riding it down, and just when it's done, you know, and just ride it back up. It's just riding the waves. I mean, that's how simple it is. I'm in right now at my entry was 9725, and so we're at 9680. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful how it's just going down like that? And that's just candlestick analysis right there. You see the double top is nothing. I don't need the RSI. I don't need the volume. I don't need any of that. I just need the candlesticks. Look at that shit fall.
Now let me ask you, where did you get 7 minutes from? I'm just kind of curious.
Trial and error, man. You know what I'm saying? Every market has its advantages, and so I like the 7 minute. You know, look at that. Look at that shit, boy. Look at that. You see that? Ain't that amazing, man? It's what I prefer. I prefer this chart. You may not like the 7 minute, but I'm just riding the waves. Yeah. And I can see the candlesticks. I can see the patterns. And but I can't do this I can't use a 7 minute chart on Amazon or the Qs. Yeah. Everything has its own time frame. But for Bitcoin, you know, I've been doing this you ain't heard from me in months, right? This is the reason why. Because I needed to see the best way I can make money. So right now I'm up $39 off of a $40 investment. So I'm getting ready to sell that, and once that reverses, I'm just going to ride it right back up again.
Yeah.
I know it sounds kind of crazy, huh?
I mean, look, if it works for you, bro, you know what I mean? For me, it's like, hey, bro, if it works for you, I'm not, you know, you're not going to catch me day trading Bitcoin, but, bro, if it makes you money, I'm all for it, dude. I'm all for it.
What's that moving average that you normally use to see the trends? Is that the 20?
Yeah, 21.
Let's see what it's showing right now for the moving average.
Oh, it's probably, okay, so it looks like it was just beneath it, but it's maintaining now. Especially now that it pulled back up a little bit on that 21.
Yeah, so as soon as it dips below that, then we know it's going to look like the. Well, I'm not going to say what it's going to look like because it's a shorter time frame, so we're going to have to reduce that moving average a little bit.
Right. It's just short.
Yeah, but anyways, I just want to show you this is what I do most of the day. I'll come home and I'll scalp that just like that, and just depending on what candlestick pattern forms. Sometimes I may catch a $200 move. But my goal is to catch these tops right here where you see these long wicks. Every time I see these long wicks, basically that means people got trapped with those bags, and it's going to cause the squeeze because people they're trapped. They tried to catch that run up and they got trapped in there. So I know that's potential profit when it comes down there.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's all I wanted to share, man. I just wanted you to see that live and see how I look at things because we always talk about aftermarket, but not live analysis like this.
Right.
So I just wanted to put that out.
There it is, man.
All right, brother. But have a good night, man. Thanks. All right,
yes,
bye-bye.
Indeed, man. And look, it's interesting play, man. It's interesting play, and if it's working for him, man, like I said, if it works for you, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. If it works for you, but I'm not going to trade nothing that I can't put a value on. I can't put a value on cryptocurrency, man. I just, I don't know. If it works, it works. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. So that's this is the little Stephen Burns 5 EMA momentum, 10 short term, 21 EMA pullback support. EMA, if it breaks that pullback support, you figure you're going lower, right? Uptrend defense line is the 50 coming from a lower level. Oversold 100 SMA, Bulls last stand, which is the 200 moving average. And interestingly enough, I'm going to take that down. If we look at SPY and we look at SPY in the 200, let me get out of that 7 minute. There it is. Or obviously in the 7 minute. There it is. 7 minute daily chart. As you can see here, we're fighting to stay above the 200 moving average. Right now, though, after hours, we're looking like another red day tomorrow. I mean, we're still light on the futures red, but we could be fighting and flirting with that 200 moving average by the end of the week. We could be below that if we continue this bearish trend. We'll see. We bounced up on that line before, right? We bounced on that line before. You can see here previous weeks, we bounced on that line before. Do we have enough strength to do it again? We don't know. We don't know. All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I'm still putting that weekly pay trade strategy to test. Again, write it down because I want you guys to see it too. Again, you don't have to do it my way. You don't have to use this kind of size. In fact, I think I took a picture. Where is it? I think I have one where it's just, where's that one where it's just like, okay, just one. So this is if it's just one. QQQ. Now, obviously, this is really small. This is one contract. And by the way, Tasty Trade has unlimited contracts for only $5. So you can be 100 damn contracts. It's only $5. All right. It's only $5 a trade. No closing cost on the closing side of the trade. All right. So this is just one. Again, your credit will be $12. Your profit gets given to you at the beginning. All right, so you already know what your profit is going to be on a credit spread. Last caller. There's going to be last call. 919 Bats. What's up, man?
Sal, I forgot to ask you, were you in the VIX today? Because that did really well, right?
Yeah, I wasn't in the VIX today, but I had been talking about guys holding the VIX at those lower levels because you're going to get the bounce. But no, I was not in the VIX today.
That's a shame. Yeah, I'm beginning to understand. I agree with Mr. Lloyd in terms of like trading and the way you kind of transform as a trader. I'm beginning to, as time progresses and I'm learning more how to trade and pick my setups, I'm actually using less indicators now. Sometimes I'll even just have a naked chart because you can actually see the candlestick patterns. He was talking about a double top, and, I see that in the SPY where it hits a top, and already, like, when it hits a top, my strategy is like, okay, so what's the closest strike price in the vicinity of that top?
Absolutely.
So let's say it's at, I don't know, let's say it's at 268.40. It now means I'm looking to 268.50 as a put, and I can see the tops. You can see the upper candlestick, the upper shadows or the upper wicks of the candlesticks. And I found in a lot of my trades, yes, I use VWAP a lot, but I'm getting to a point where I'm actually not requiring any volume. I don't even look at that. I don't even look at moving averages. I could just have a naked chart up there. And then last but not least, back when StockGod used to call and say, he used the 1 minute, and I was like, how could you use that? There's so many, false signals. It's amazing how you go through these, transformations as a trader, because guess what? Now with options, I'm actually using the 1 minute chart, something I thought I would never be able to use. It's weird how through options I'm just seeing things very clearly. So I actually use the 1 minute to catch the early moves, and then I kind of confirm it on the 5 minute, but I'm not using any other time beyond the 5 minutes. So it's a 1 minute and a 3 minute, and a 5 minute. It's funny Mr. Lloyd mentions a 7 minute, because I was fooling around with a 3 minute today because I wanted something kind of like the sweet spot of the 1 minute and the 5 minutes. So I thought the 7 minute was quite hilarious, but here I was today, I was fooling around with the 3 minutes. So, thanks again, Sal. Thanks for inspiring me to look at options. You, Mr. Lloyd, Connor, and anyone else trading options, but I've transformed. Like I'm a new person now. It's amazing, and I'm getting used to the high of success and all that good stuff. But anyway, have a good night, Sal, and thanks again.
Appreciate you, Bats. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you. All right, appreciate you. Now I wouldn't suggest trading naked for he's basically talking about trading like this, where there's basically nothing on this, and just kind of trading like that. Man, not only is it an ugly ass chart, but I mean it's look, you can do that. I mean, if you get to a point where you know your candlesticks, how to call it the way you see it, you can get to that point. Now, you'll never get me to trade the 1 minute. You'll never get me to trade a chart in a 1 minute time frame. I mean, that's just, I'm just not going to do that. Because that's the type of lifestyle that keeps you strapped in front of your computer. And I'm looking for a way to get away from my computer. From somebody that works from home, let me tell you, I'm looking to get away from being in front of the computer. All right? You're looking for a way to go out, enjoy life, and still be able to make money. And that means using a better and a higher time frame. Because, you don't want to, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, right? Once you get out of that, you don't want to leave what you the 9 to 5 to come home to do 10 to 10. You know what I'm saying? Or 10 to 11. You actually want to get away from working more and start working smart, and that's why I like the higher time frames, because it gets me out of sitting in front of the computer. Sitting in front of the computer. All right, I done messed up my chart and took off my damn thing, because I mean, you can do it like this, but no indicators, no nothing. Again, it can be done. It can be done, and if it's profitable, if it works for you, by all means, do it. By all means, do it. All right. They trade like trade the open like a cowboy with hot keys. There are a lot of guys who do that. All right. Yeah, and he talked about trading the VIX. Even with the VIX, you don't need TVIX. You can just use UVXY options. UVXY options, and again, I've been trying to have David Lincoln back on the show, but he's a busy man. UVXY options. A couple of days ago, when this is volatility, right? UVXY is just a mature version of TVIX. And it's a very liquid option strategy to trade options, but the volatility version of it, you could have bought these 14s and now, selling it now for a nice little $2 move as they go higher. And some people could say it's still relatively cheap in comparison to where we've been at recently, right? And looks like after hours, we could be going higher on UVXY, but we'll see what happens. But, there's options for volatility too. There's options for volatility too. Stock Z alerts. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do. I'm trying to, again, like I said, don't want to beat a dead horse, but I'm trying to get away from the computer, get away from screens, and get to a point where you can just, look at a higher time frame, get a bigger piece of the move, and detach yourself from these blue lights. All right. I said the next run, Parker Mills BTCS. Let's look at BTCS real quick. Let me go back to the daily. Looks like on the hourly, looking healthy. Here's the daily BTCS. Yeah, looking for that. You already crossed that 50 moving average. Again, I'm going to have to adjust this because, I got my 50 line already set up. But it looks like you already crossed it. So your in was already, let me see the 21. There it is. You're above the 21. So, yeah, your in was already, perfectly aligned. Looks like a few days ago, BTCS. It's going higher. It's going higher on BTCS. Many of these Bitcoin stocks, Bitcoin's running, bro. Bitcoin's running. Bitcoin's doing well. Riot blockchain finally, right, showing some life today. We talked about Riot blockchain. At least I hinted at it. I don't think I pulled up the chart. But Riot blockchain finally catching up with the move and showing a little bit of life today. Hopefully that could be the beginning of a new run in Riot blockchain. First time successfully above that 21 in some time. All right, Riot blockchain. We'll see how it goes. GBTC. I know that one's already been on the move. GBTC. Look at that GBTC move. Look at that. You had a gap up. It's been a gap in 2 days in a row. Almost 3 days in a row. GBTC gap up and run. Gap and goes. As that looks for those higher RSI levels. And here's another one. 21 EMA. And I told you guys about that short-term EMA. Right? How it can get you into these trades a little bit early. 21 pullback support already showing you. Boom. We're not playing games here. That 21 EMA. Pulled back to it. That's the pullback support. Bounced off it. Here's your buy. Boom. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful move. GBTC. Awesome move. All right. But again, most of these trades now well below as we start to fight for some of those lower levels. Here's 200 right below. It's Caterpillar. Caterpillar finally for you right there. So there it is. All right, let me end the show before I start talking for another 5 hours. All right, let me get you guys out of here. Let me ring that bell. Yeah, appreciate all of you. Great show tonight. Great show tonight. Great show tonight. Great discussions. All right. Awesome tickers. If this was your first time here, welcome. Please press subscribe and also press that like button. Make sure you check out my sponsors, Equity Feed, blackboxtrader.org. Learn to trade stocks if you haven't already. Hit up my boy Tim Sykes, and I think I got a link somewhere there, Millionaire Trading Academy. All right, there are free sources out there as well for you. All right, so y'all have a great night. Tomorrow's going to be another interesting day. All right. Looks like this market is finally showing the weakness we've all been wondering when it's going to happen. But who knows, man? We can get another bounce here and retrace 10% back higher. You never know. All right. Bad Scientist, appreciate you, man. Kayak Z, Donzel Essex, K-Mac 15, appreciate you, K-Mac. K-Mac, I'd love you to call one day, bro. I think you've called before. Eduardo, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the call. Andrew, appreciate you, bro. Callie, Rob. Crazy Keeper Flame. He said shady ass stocks. I barely trade them anymore. I got into the stock shit. Got halted back up 3 legs in the red. Oh man. It's not that bad, bro. DJ, appreciate you. Mr. Lloyd again. DJ Younglove, that was to you. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to Christopher. All my callers, man. All the people who listened and watched today. I appreciate all of you. Be back same time, same place tomorrow. Hopefully more red, because I'm going to make more money tomorrow. All right. Until then, happy trading, guys. Until next time. Later.